Hello, Lee Povey from NYP Coaching here, and today I wanted to talk about difficult conversations. And this is a muscle that many of us don't have much practice with, and therefore it seems very daunting. And we can write stories about what is going to happen when we have this difficult conversation or these difficult conversations. And from these stories, we create a reality that may not be true, and it stops us from having the conversation because of this reality that we've created. And I'll do a separate video on stories and go into this in more depth. And what I want to encourage is to remind everybody that difficult conversations take practice, whatever that might be, whether it's firing somebody, whether it's giving feedback to a romantic partner about your relationship, whether it's telling your boss something you don't like about what they do, whatever it is, any conversation that feels difficult, that feels like it's going to be stressful, we start to create these stories, or typically we start to create these stories about how the conversation is going to go. So what I'm going to offer instead is that we remove the stories and we start these conversations with curiosity. And another good thing we can do is we can start these conversations by saying to the person that we're having a conversation with, this is going to be a difficult conversation for me. I'm not sure how this conversation is going to go. It's going to be hard. I might mess up. I might say something in a way that's not how I want to. I'm afraid of having this conversation. And that kind of sets the tone for the kind of conversation that you want to have, which is a more curious and open conversation. And it gives you permission not to be perfect. Often we feel like we have to be perfect when we have these difficult conversations because there's an aim. I want to have this difficult conversation and I've got to get somewhere. Instead, if we can look at the conversation as an open curiosity, and we're going to discover during the conversation where we want the conversation to go and what the other person's thinking and where they're coming from, it's much less stressful because we don't have to get the conversation perfect. And a reminder, when we say something in conversations that we think, I regret that, or that's not the way I wanted to say it, we can clear that up. If we catch it in a conversation itself, we can clear it up right there and then. If we think about it later and we have some regret, we can go back to the person and say, hey, when I said this isn't what I meant. This is what I meant. This is the impact that I actually wanted to have. I'd like to clear that up with you. I'd like to redo that. And that's okay. And that can be as long after the initial conversation as it needs to be. Days, weeks, even months and years. You can go back to somebody and say, that wasn't how I wanted that conversation to go. Let me try again. Try this out. Comment below with how it's going for you. Any questions you've got, please let me know. Any other videos you want to see, just let me know. Thanks everybody. Bye.